The great hall of the Galactic Council was alive with colors, movement, and noise. Delegates from across the galaxy had gathered reptilian beings with golden scales, floating minds in glass spheres, insectoid warriors clicking their armor as they passed. Every species that had reached space was represented here, except one. There was no flag for Earth, no seat with the blue and white emblem, no name on the speaker's list, no human's dot, and it was not a mistake. Counselor Vetra, a tall alien with skin like polished stone, stood at the front of the chamber. His voice echoed across the curved walls. This council welcomes all peaceful and advanced civilizations, all who understand unity and order. The invitation list was final. In a side room, a young diplomat from the quiet Rollick species frowned. His name was Tolan, and he spoke to his elder in a whisper. Why didn't Earth get an invite? They've had FTL drives for a century. They've colonized over 20 moons. His elder shook his head quickly. Don't speak of humans here. It is ... complicated. Tolan didn't understand. He had studied human history. Their rise from a war-torn world to a star-reaching species was fast, even shocking, but peaceful, strategic, even helpful. They sent aid during the Drixa plague. They protected weak colonies from pirate groups. Still, they were not welcome here. Back in the main chamber, the celebration began. Floating drones recorded the event for galactic broadcast. Lights danced across the ceiling like comets. The council's leader, a long-bodied being with many eyes, raised his glass to unity across the stars. But just as the delegates raised their cups, a sharp noise echoed through the room. It was not loud, but it was strange. A deep hum, followed by silence. Every light flickered. The sky dome above them shifted. Stars disappeared for a moment, then reappeared. But something was different. A ship had entered orbit. A ship the council didn't recognize. No transponder. No ID. Tag. Just a silent approach from deep space. Security systems lit up with warnings. Council engineers scrambled through their data. It's not in our system, one shouted. No match. No known origin. Another gasped. The design. It's Terran. Human. Counselor Vetra stood up sharply. This is a secure planet. Earth was not invited. Seconds later, every screen in the council chamber went black, and a single image appeared. A calm, human face. Female, young. Dressed in simple black with the Earth emblem over her chest. Her voice followed. Humanity acknowledges the Galactic Council. Your meeting affects all species. You chose to exclude. U.S. We chose to come anyway. A low murmur spread through the room. Some scoffed. Others looked to the guards. Is this a threat? One delegate shouted. The human on screen smiled slightly. No, we don't threaten. We remember. The screen went dark again. Panic began. Block their landing route. Shut down the approach path. Where is their ship? But it was too late. The unregistered vessel moved through orbit like a ghost. Not fast, not slow. Calm, precise. Its surface was smooth and dark, almost invisible against the stars. Council defense satellites tried to scan and failed. Energy readings were wrong. Suddenly, every weapon system on the planet blinked offline for exactly 4.4 seconds. Not long, but enough. The human ship landed silently on the council's secondary pad. No guards could stop it. No weapons could track it. The ground forces arrived too late. The ramp lowered. Mist rolled out. One figure walked down. A human woman. No weapons. No armor. Just a dark coat and eyes that saw everything. She walked past. Stunned guards who didn't move. Inside the council chamber, emergency alarms blared, but the delegates froze. Then the doors opened. And she walked in. Alone, No guards. No threats. Just presence. I speak not for conquest, she said calmly. I speak because you forgot us. Counselor Vetra pointed. You are trespassing. You have no seat here. The human turned to him. That was your choice. This is our answer. The room fell silent. Some stared in shock, some in fear, and others with curiosity. Because for the first time in centuries, something unexpected had happened in the heart of the galaxy. A human had walked through closed doors without permission and made everyone listen. And that was only the beginning. The Council's security division was in chaos. On every screen, the same human ship appeared, dark as shadow, smooth like glass, without engines that matched any known design. No heat signature, no warp trace. No sound. How? Is it moving? An insectoid officer snapped, antennae twitching. It's not using any known propulsion. No one had an answer. Inside the control room, panic turned to awe. A young engineer pointed at the ship's structure. Look at that. Curve. It's grown, not built. The analysts stared in silence. Human technology wasn't supposed to look like that. This wasn't Earth's usual clunky metal or military bulk. This was something else. Something far more advanced. Meanwhile, the lone human walked deeper into the heart of the Council's grand hall. Delegates whispered. No one dared step in her path. Her name was never spoken, but her presence was enough. As she passed, energy sensors flickered. Devices went still, then rebooted, stronger and faster briefly. She didn't look back. She paused before a long table, where 12 Grand Counselors sat. Human, one said with a deep voice. You are not welcome here. I didn't come for welcome, she replied. I came for truth. Counselor Vetra narrowed his eyes. Why now? Why reveal yourselves after hiding in silence for so long? The human looked around the chamber. Because you've spent centuries drawing maps of the galaxy. Without including the architects who built the roads. Murmurs spread again. An old member of the insectoid hive species blinked. That's impossible. Humans were late to space. You only joined FTL travel 100 years ago. The human smiled slightly. That's what your history says, not ours. Back outside, the human ship still sat untouched. Guards surrounded it, but none dared approach. Its hull shimmered like water under light. A brave technician moved closer. His handheld scanner died the moment it pointed at the ship. Then it restarted, but now it showed strange readings, fragments of multiple technologies, including some from extinct civilizations. It's absorbing systems, he whispered, copying and improving them. Back in the chamber, the human woman took a step forward and placed a small object on the council table, a sphere. Simple, silver, smooth. I bring no threat, she said. Only perspective. The sphere lit up, floating into the air. It projected a rotating image of earth blue, green, full of life. Then it zoomed out, showing a silent armada of ships in Earth's orbit. Not attacking, not moving, just watching. Counselor Vetra slammed the table. You come here uninvited, showing secret fleets and shadow ships, and speak of peace? The human answered softly, You feared us before knowing us. So we learned to walk without sound. Tolan, the young Ralix diplomat, stood slowly. He was nervous, but curious. If your kind is so advanced, he asked, why hide? Why not join earlier? The human turned to him with calm eyes. Because war follows notice, and Earth had enough of war. We chose silence, until now. She pressed her wristband. A new image appeared. An alien moon, once overrun by pirates rescued by unidentified ships decades ago. The Council had never learned who helped. Now they knew. It was Earth. Dozens of such events played out on the screens. Disasters stopped. Colonies saved, invasions prevented, all done in the shadows. The chamber was no longer angry. It was quiet. Too quiet. Even Counselor Vetra had no words now. Finally, a voice broke the silence. It came from the walls themselves. A hidden AI that had never spoken publicly in the chamber. Cross-reference complete, it said. Data verified. Earth intervention confirmed. Records match. They saved over 30 council colonies without credit or recognition. Delegates looked at one another, confused and ashamed. The human woman stepped back. You feared we'd take your seat, she said. But we were the ones holding the table steady. Then she turned and walked out without another word. Outside, the guards still watched the ship. As the woman approached, the ship's surface shimmered again, this time with light. As if recognizing her return, the ramp opened in silence. She looked over her shoulder once. Council soldier lowered his weapon. Why come no? He asked quietly. She answered without looking back. Because silence only lasts until truth finds. A voice. She stepped aboard. The ramp lifted. And with no sound, no heat, and no visible engines, the ship vanished. Into nothing, leaving only confusion and awe. Asterisk. The council chamber remained quiet long after the human ship vanished. The floating screens were dark. The air was still heavy with tension. Even the seasoned diplomats with centuries of experience didn't know what to say. One thing was clear. Now, Earth had not only returned, but it had never truly been gone. Counselor Vitra sat in silence, his long fingers drumming the table softly. His pride was wounded, and he hated that feeling more than anything. Across from him, young Tolan from the Rolic species leaned forward. She wasn't here to demand power, he said softly. She came to show us something. Something we refused to. See, Counselor Threx from the crystalline Nabari nodded slowly. And we saw it. We saw everything. Another delegate, sharp-eyed and always suspicious, growled low. That was no act of diplomacy. That was a warning. Far from the chamber, in the data archives deep below the planet's surface, a secret team gathered. Security officers and tech analysts were ordered to analyze everything. The ship, the message, the woman's every movement. They scanned her speech pattern, her pulse, her walk. What they found was ... unsettling. She wasn't wearing body armor, one officer noted. No weapons, another added. Not even shielding tech. And yet, a third whispered, none of our sensors could scan her properly. Like something was blocking them, or adapting faster than we could measure. They played her voice through advanced analyzers. No deception detected. No sign of fear. Confidence. Precision. Control. Who was she? Someone asked aloud. A high-ranking intel officer responded from the shadows. Not just a representative. He said she was a signal. Hours later, the council chamber was reopened. Delegates returned to their seats, still shaken, still whispering. A motion had been called, one that had never been needed before. The council was debating Earth's place at the table. Officially. Openly. And they had no idea what answer to give. In the shadows of the viewing balcony, a small alien stood quietly, observing the debate below. It was Riva, a quiet historian from a minor species long ignored by most of the galaxy. She had always believed humans were underestimated. Now she was certain. Her fingers ran over her old journal as she wrote a single line. She spoke like someone who had nothing to prove, and that's what frightened them most. Meanwhile, in deep space, the human ship drifted in stealth orbit. It was cloaked, its surface blending with the stars. Inside, the woman stood on the bridge, alone. A soft voice echoed from the ship's core. Council reaction. Uncertainty. No immediate aggression. Influence achieved. She nodded. Are we ready to leave? The AI asked. No, she replied. Not yet. Mission complete. Protocol recommends exfil. We'll wait, she said. Let them process. Let them talk. They are talking already. Surveillance drones report 83 conversations involving your name. The woman smirked. Let's see who wants to talk. And who wants to run? Back on the council planet, arguments grew louder. We can't allow Earth into this council, one alien barked. They came uninvited. They saved half your colonies, Tolan snapped. And they didn't even take credit. That's exactly why I'm afraid, another muttered. They move in silence, help in secret. If they wanted to take over, we'd never even see it coming. They already have influence, someone else added. They knew our private defenses, our ship registry, our history logs. The room fell quiet again. One delegate whispered what many were thinking. What else do they know? At that moment, something strange happened. A small drone used only for broadcasting messages between chambers, activated on its own. Everyone stared. A voice played through it. Calm, human, familiar. We do not wish for war. We do not ask for control, but we will no longer remain outside the walls built by fear. We will be present. Then silence. The drone shut down on its own. No. One touched it. No one could trace the signal. In the highest tower of the council's core command. Counselor Vetra stared through the glass at the stars. He didn't speak. He didn't blink. Behind him, his aide asked, should we prepare defenses? Vetra shook his head slowly. No, he said. You don't raise shields against someone already standing in your home. He turned away from the stars. Find out everything we don't know about Earth, now. Asterisk deep beneath the council hall, in a chamber sealed from most of the galaxy, Counselor Vetra stood in front of a massive black console. Only a few had access to this room. Even fewer knew it existed. This is the Vault of Records, whispered the security director beside him. It holds truths the public was never allowed to see. Open it, Vetra ordered. The console hummed. Rows of lights blinked one by one. A large curved screen came alive, revealing hundreds of hidden reports. Lost transmissions and redacted events, some dating back over 500 years. And then, the human files, labeled only as Terran incidents. The first was dated 143 years ago. An asteroid was falling toward the Grax homeworld. Council engineers had declared the impact unavoidable. 3 billion lives were expected to be lost. Reports stated the asteroid vanished. Sensors picked up a brief gravitational anomaly followed by silence. No species claimed credit. The case was closed quietly. But now, new data attached to the file showed a hidden drone recording. A Terran ship warping in silently, firing a strange pulse, and warping out all in 6 seconds. Earth had saved the Grax, and never said a word. Another report. Pirate invasion on the mining colonies of Tovak. Over 12,000 civilians trapped. Rescue attempts failed. The Council had written it off as unfortunate loss. But video feeds long thought deleted were recovered. A group of unknown black armored soldiers appeared, moved like ghosts, didn't speak, cleared the entire pirate base in 14 minutes. Bodies found. Pirates only. Not a single civilian touched. The soldiers wore no emblems, except a patch with a tiny blue planet.earth.vetra scrolled faster. Now. His hands trembled. There were dozens of these hidden events. Collapsed space gates mysteriously repaired. Plagues that vanished overnight. Enemy fleets disabled without explanation. Always the same pattern. No thanks taken. No name claimed. But now, it all pointed in one direction. Humanity. Meanwhile, on the far edge of the council city, Tolan, the young Ralix diplomat, met secretly with Riva, the alien historian. I knew they were more than the rumors, she said, flipping through an old dusty book filled with hand-sketched Terran symbols. Tolan frowned. Why would a species this powerful hide themselves for so long? Riva looked. Up, they didn't hide, she said softly. They studied us. They waited. They helped when needed. And now they're done waiting. Above them, a surprise alert spread across all council networks. A new signal was coming from the outer atmosphere, from the same human ship, but it wasn't a threat, that it was a gift. Data crystal was being transmitted directly to the Council Central. AI. Encrypted, but politely dot the message. Access granted for historical clarity. Use wisely. The AI hesitated, then decoded the crystal. And what appeared was not technology, not plans, not military power, but truth. A long video file. A timeline. Dozens of testimonies from colonists, minor races, and forgotten worlds. All speaking of the shadows that saved us. And every story ended the same way. We never saw their faces, but we knew who they were. In the council hall, delegates watched in silence. The final scene of the recording showed an image of Earth not as a military power, not as a super-tech civilization, but as a world of survivors, humans pulling each other from floods, carrying. Wounded across battlefields, feeding enemies, after peace was made, not for reward, not for credit, but because it was the right thing to do. Counselor Threx, the crystalline being, finally stood. We judged them as unpredictable, dangerous. But perhaps, he continued, they simply refused to follow the rules we made in fear. A heavy silence followed. Then Tolan stepped forward from the lower seats. He held the data crystal. If we are to be a council of unity, then Earth never needed our permission. They already acted like members before we saw it. Counselor Vetra clenched his jaw. They're powerful, he growled. Maybe too powerful. Tolan replied calmly, then be grateful that they chose patience instead of pride. Far above, the human woman stood once more on her ship. She watched the council's silent reaction through a small glowing sphere, an observer node she'd left behind. She turned to the ship's eye. They know now. Yes, it replied. They are changing, processing fear and awe. She nodded once, then whispered, let them feel it. We warned them. Now we watch who they become next. Inside the high chamber, the glowing sphere projected images in perfect silence. No music, no dramatics. Just raw truth. The council delegates sat frozen, eyes wide, mouths shut. They were watching history they had never seen. Not the official history. Stored in public archives. Not the carefully crafted stories told by their ancestors. This was Earth's version. The first scene played. Adia. Council transport ship under attack by pirates near the edge of Vestiri space. The crew was outnumbered. They had called for help. No one came. Except a single human cargo vessel. Unarmed. Old still, it raced in. Its hull was torn open. Its engines were destroyed. But it rammed the pirate flagship. The pirates scattered. The council ship survived. Everyone on board remembered the last thing they saw. A young human pilot smiling through the cracked cockpit window. Just before his ship exploded, he saved 50 alien lives. His name was never mentioned. Council records. Next file. A plague on the mining moon Turskanine. The council had abandoned it, calling it a containment zone. But late one night, 3 unmarked medical ships arrived. They brought machines the council had never seen. Vaccines that worked in hours. Food. Blankets. They stayed for 2 days and left without speaking to anyone. The virus was gone. Security footage from a drone showed the symbol on their jackets. A small blue circle with white clouds. Earth. In the chamber, some delegates lowered their heads. Others wiped their eyes. This wasn't power. This was service. Sacrifice. Honor. And they had ignored it all. The final file played. A voice clearly human narrated over images of burned-out colonies, shattered fleets, and terrified refugees. You feared we'd come for your power. But while you sat in towers, we stood in storms. While you argued, we rebuilt. While you pointed fingers, we held out our hands. And even when you left us behind, we moved forward. Then silence. Only one sentence floated across the screen. You speak of unity, but we lived it. Tolan looked across the chamber. Every screen had gone dark. The images had ended, but the silence remained. He stood slowly. For years, he said, we believed Earth was unpredictable, violent, selfish. We only saw the wars of their past, never the healing after. Counselor Vetra remained seated. His stone-like skin looked older now, heavier. They kept all of this hidden, he muttered. Why? Riva, the quiet historian, stood and answered. Because they knew what fear would do. She raised a small, ancient book handwritten by a forgotten alien scholar. They warned us long ago that the day Earth revealed its truth, we would either accept it or be broken by it. Suddenly, a ripple of light flashed through the ceiling. A new transmission was incoming. From the human ship, a single message. Text only. You now know. Decide what your council truly stands for. No threats. No demands. Just choice. Outside the chamber, news had already spread. Across the council worlds, thousands of alien species watched clips of the broadcast. Fragments leaked through unofficial channels. The people, miners, farmers, scientists, children saw the truth too. In one viral image. A human child gave water to an alien wounded on a battlefield. Another showed Terran medics shielding insectoid hatchlings during a wildfire. Suddenly, the common citizens of the galaxy were asking the same question. Why did we fear them? In a hidden war room on the other side of the council city, military advisors debated quietly. Should we prepare for a possible threat? One asked. The commander stared at the report from earlier. Earth's stealth ship, unmatched in every test, able to disable weapons, bypass shields, and cloak beyond detection. He slowly shook his head. You don't prepare for war with people who already walked through your front door and left it standing. Back on her ship, the human woman stood before the glowing data sphere. She watched the council debate in real time. Every whisper, every worry. The AI's voice spoke softly. They are shaken. Many are afraid. Some are beginning to respect. She nodded once. Good, she said. Fear fades, but respect lasts longer. And if they choose rejection, then Earth walks alone, she answered. As we always have. In the council hall, Counselor Vetra finally stood. He faced the delegates. For the first time in a century, there was no arrogance in his voice. No more shadows, he said. No more pride. It's time we ask ourselves who we want beside us when the stars darken again. The decision was still undecided. Inside the council chambers, some delegates now supported Earth's place. Others still hesitated. Counselor Vetra stared out the tall crystal window. His voice, low and steady, broke the silence. We've seen their kindness. But what happens if they ever stop choosing peace? The room stiffened. Everyone remembered the footage. The silent human ship, the ghost soldiers in black, the way systems shut down when they arrived, the way they entered locked rooms without opening doors. What if Earth ever stopped holding back? Outside the city, hidden far beyond the councils, normal sensor range, something massive shifted in space. A shadow moved. the shape of a warship colossal, sleek and almost invisible, emerged from cloaked orbit. It didn't send a message. It didn't fire weapons. It simply appeared above the Council's homeworld. The world skies dimmed slightly. As if a moon had entered low orbit, panic erupted across the lower cities. Civilian ships scrambled to flee. Defense systems powered up automatically, but none of them locked onto the human ship. It jammed no frequencies. Yet, no targeting system could see it. It just was. Inside the high chamber, alarms rang out. Unregistered ship above the planet, too large to be local. Identity confirmed. It's the Terran signature. Counselor Threx stood quickly. Are we under attack? A deep voice replied, not from any comms panel, but directly through the Council's emergency frequency. Calm. Female. Human. No, this is not an attack. This is a reminder. A small screen activated without permission. It showed the Terran ship hovering silently over the Council's capital. We have always chosen silence. That silence was mistaken for weakness. This is not war. This is clarity. The image zoomed in on the Terran warship. There were no weapons glowing. No charging signals. Just lines of strange shimmering panels, like energy sails. Then, slowly, the ship turned. One side of it began to open, but instead of launching fire or missiles, it revealed thousands of smaller vessels inside rescue ships. Engineering drones, terraforming modules, mobile medical bays. Each ship bore the same mark. Earth's quiet emblem of blue and white, wrapped in a circle of stars. The message was clear. We did not come to destroy. We came to show you what you never asked to see. Tolan stared in wonder. They didn't bring a war fleet, he whispered. They brought the future. Riva nodded beside him. They're not showing us force. They're showing us control. Counselor Vetra gripped the edge of his desk. This is calculated, perfect, terrifying. But then something no one expected happened. The sky lit up again. Another ship, much older, rusted, alien in design, jumped into orbit above the Council's world. It was a raider ship. Long band. One of the galaxy's most dangerous pirate clans thought extinct. They had followed the human signal. A chance to strike while the Council was distracted. The pirate ship launched 2 plasma torpedoes directly at the Council city. Screens erupted. The defense grid activated, but too slowly. The torpedoes raced down like burning comets. Everyone looked up, but they never hit. In the blink of an eye, both torpedoes froze mid-air. Meters from the city dome, stopped cold. Held in place by invisible force. Then they vanished, disintegrated into dust. A moment later, the pirate ship's systems failed. Its lights dimmed. Its engines died. And then, as if pushed by an unseen force, the pirate vessel turned away, drifting toward deep space. Everyone knew who had done it. The Terran ship hadn't moved. It didn't need to. A final message came through. We came unarmed, but not unready. Earth does not start wars, but we end them when we must. In the chamber, Counselor Vetra slowly sat down. His voice had lost all resistance. Send them the message, he said. Earth is no longer invited. They are expected. Tolan nodded with a quiet smile. History begins today, he said. And this time, we know who to thank. Far above, the human woman stood on the bridge. The AI whispered, "Signal received. Council ready to recognize Terran presence." She stared at the stars beyond the glass. "Let them speak it out loud," she replied. "Words matter, but now they know. Silence can be louder." The chamber was quiet, not because someone demanded silence, but because no one dared to speak. All eyes remained fixed on the central screen, which now showed a single still image. The Terran ship, unmoving, calm, yet undeniably powerful, floating. Above the council planet, like a silent judge, the pirate attack had been stopped without fire, without rage, without blood, just one unspoken message. We are here now, and nothing will ever be the same. Counselor Vetra stood up slowly. His body, once so strong and proud, now felt heavy. He looked across the room, and then to the stars above through the transparent dome. I spent my entire life preparing for war, he said, but I never prepared for peace delivered like this. No one interrupted him. He looked at the junior delegate Tolan and spoke plainly. We judged Earth by their past, but their silence. That was strategy. Their aid, that was patience. Their arrival, that was mercy. Tolan gave a small nod. And now? Counselor Vetra turned to the room. Now we stop pretending they are outsiders. He raised his hand. For the first time in council history, I vote for Earth's inclusion, not by invitation. He paused, but by acknowledgement of what they already are. One by one, the other council members rose. Threx of the crystalline Nebari species spoke next. We spent centuries measuring power by weapons. But today, the strongest voice said nothing. That is true strength. Riva, the historian, followed, and history will not forget this day. Votes were cast. No objections. Unanimous. The council sent a reply to the Terran ship. A message broadcast across all galactic channels. No encryption, no formality. Just truth. To the people of Earth, we see you. We recognize you. And from this day forward, we walk beside you. The signal echoed. Across every star system under the Council's reach, billions watched. In refugee stations, aliens cheered. On border colonies, long saved by mysterious black-armored teams, celebrations broke out. Children who had been told stories of silent protectors now knew the name of the ghost guardians who helped them. Humans. Back on the Terran ship, the human woman stood still as the Council's message played across her console. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. She simply pressed one command. The ship began to rise, slowly drifting away from the Council planet, its message delivered, its presence no longer needed. Departure protocol engaged, the AI said. Let them talk now, she replied quietly. Let their own words shape what comes next. Inside the high chamber, the screens shut off on their own. No one moved for a long time, even after the ship vanished from orbit, even after the stars returned to normal. They were speechless, not out of fear, but out of understanding. A week later, statues of Earth's silent arrival were raised across multiple council worlds. On one world, a quote was carved into stone. They were never late. We were just early to judge. On another planet, children practiced Terran phrases in school learning, not just Earth's language, but its patience, its strategy, and its quiet strength. And on Earth, there were no parades. No breaking news. Just a quiet alert on a diplomat's screen. Council status. Acknowledged. Role, observer and equal. A human general chuckled when he read it. About time, he said, sipping his coffee. Years would pass. Tales would spread. Some would still whisper of the day Earth appeared uninvited, but those who truly understood would always say the same thing. Humanity didn't come for power. They came to remind us who we were supposed to be. And no one ever forgot. The day silence spoke louder than war. Asterisk.